Hi there. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Crypto Chronicles. We are joined once again by the head of the Roku Academy, Mr. Emmanuel Peter. Hi, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Today we're going to be talking about something that has created quite a buzz in the last couple of weeks, Pi. Trust me, whether you are a pioneer or you are not a pioneer, I am pretty sure you have heard a thing or two about this new token that went on the mainnet and has been causing a buzz. Has it done better than your expectation? Has it done worse than your expectation? We are bringing it all out today. Let's start with the listing. Now, there's a lot of tokens out there, millions of tokens. Why Pi? What was the driving force for listing Pi and listing it immediately?
Well, for us, we conduct our own analysis before we list any token, and Pi meets all criteria. So why not, right?
Yeah.
We have Pi ranking number 13th as of today on CoinMarketCap, and we have more than 130 tokens on Roku. So why don't we have number 11 on the platform? I mean, it's going to be absurd not to have Pi on the platform, right?
Yeah.
Pioneers, are you with me? Okay, So Pi actually has got to be there.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you. I hear you, really and truly. But it received a lot of criticism. That's one thing that's a fact. So I guess that's why I'm actually curious. I'm guessing that's the where my curiosity comes from. So if you're saying that, why not number 13? The criticism it had gotten before now. How did you guys wade through the waters? Has this been a long-term view, or it was a quick decision? You just decided to jump on this. What really was it?
Well, there is nothing quick about Pi. I mean, all of you can acknowledge that. Pi has been on this for the last 6 years, and everyone can attest that Pi has the strongest community. So for us at Roku, we believe in adoption and grassroots adoption. Pi is that project that has that capacity to get to the grassroots, because even look at the Pi holders, so mamas and papas, are pioneers, right? So Pi is bringing Web3, to real world use. So of course, I wouldn't say it's quick, because even Pi, delayed a lot before mainnet. But before mainnet, there was the IOU price, where it was traded. But we didn't list that, right? We only listed after mainnet. So I wouldn't say we're too fast. We're just right on time. That would be the word.
Right on time indeed. Because I'm a pioneer myself, so I was super excited. Roku listing Pi, let's go. LFG all the way. So while I might not have as much information as I'd like on this, I do want to know, has Roku completed their KYB process? Because I know how grueling the KYC process was for pioneers. So I can only but imagine the processes will be involved for businesses, right? So are they done? Do we have the green?
To answer that, I would love to shed a bit light on what KYB is. KYB means know your business, and yes, Roku has gone through that process on Pi, as other businesses have already completed theirs as well.
This then brings me to a follow-up question. If you claim your KYB has been completed, because we know we have a list verified by the Pi team, why is Roku's name not on that list?
Okay, so this is an interesting point, right? But to answer this, I'll have to give a backstory, as to what made Pi even publish that list in the first place. Pi published that list after they went mainnet. Before then, the KYB wasn't that popular, right? And as we all know, there are a lot of scam in this space, right? So they had to do that because a lot of accounts started claiming to be Pi, right? So they needed to set the record straight, and but because the KYB process is open, after they published that list, it encouraged other businesses to quickly complete their KYB. And now, as I'm talking to you, thousands of businesses could have completed the KYB, and saying why is Roku not on that list? I mean, it's going to be difficult to publish all the businesses that have completed KYB on that list, right? Because there are a lot of moving fronts for Pi. that might not be top of their priority to update that list, but that's on them, right? But I'm pretty sure that several other businesses, including Roku, completed the KYB because we have confirmation from Pi, right? So yeah, we did complete the KYB.
Pioneers, you hear that? Confirmation from Pi. It doesn't get any more official than that. I'm going to ask this question for a more personalized view. I really want to know what you think. In your opinion, based on, because you are someone who keeps track of market trends and all that, based on your opinion, how would you say Pi is doing? Is it doing better than you expected? Is it doing not as good as you expected?
To be honest, the current price for Pi is mind-blowing. And for Pi to have launched and held, this far is crazy. Just a token that went mainnet a couple of weeks ago is sitting pretty, among top 15, by market cap largest cryptocurrencies. That is huge. People sometimes don't know how to assess projects on this space. They look at the price, but that's the wrong thing to look at. Look at the market capitalization, right? Pi is currently several billions ahead of several other projects that launched before them. So that is a massive success. Considering how old the project is since mainnet. So yes, I'm super impressed with the price of Pi and the performance of Pi so far.
I am so glad to hear that because, like I said, I'm one of the OG pioneers and I know how much backlash the community faced when it looked like the project didn't really have a plan for itself. But hey, who's laughing now? I definitely am. Now, to a controversial one. This would be a bit of a controversial question. The listing on Pi. If truly you are just completing your KYB, the listing on Pi on the platform on Roku, was it authorized by the Pi team?
Asking if we, as a platform, would need an approval from the project before listing a project that is on the public blockchain is hilarious, right? Because as an exchange, we are a marketplace, right? Just as you can take any foodstuff, without asking for permission per se, the market woman that is selling noodles doesn't need Indomie's approval to sell noodles. Let's bring it home to Web3. Has anyone asked any exchange if they collected approval from Satoshi to list Bitcoin on that platform, right? So that's not a prerequisite for an exchange. While we are in compliance with the dictates, set by Pi, but that doesn't also, limit us from exerting our duty as an exchange, right? We are a cryptocurrency centralized exchange. We provide liquidity for the tokens, internally, and yes, we can list any project that's on the public blockchain.
All right. That has been quite a bit of clarification, and I feel like a lot of pioneers would have some ease in their minds because there's been an uproar. Oh, yeah, your name is not there, this, that. But I guess with this now, we have understanding, deeper understanding. These things are not magical. It's not a snap of a finger and everything is updated. The Pi team might have different things that are on their list of priorities, and this might not be what is priority to them, updating a list. What if there are thousands of businesses? You want them to update every single time? Come on, guys. Pi has been listed. It's doing well. It's holding strong. Even in the face of the downturn that the market took, it held on strong. If we look forward into the future, a year from now, perhaps 2 years from now, what do you think could be the possibilities with what you've seen now, with the trends you have seen now? What do you think could be the possibilities? Are we looking bullish, or are we still, on the fence?
Okay, so it's a very tricky question because, as you all know, I'm not a financial advisor. However, there are a couple of stuff I want every pioneer to consider when making the price expectation for the project, right? First of all, generally the market sentiment, it's not so good at the moment, and that is going to pick up very soon. And when it does pick up, I think it's also, going to move along with the price of Pi. That means Pi would also see, inflow, in liquidity when more liquidity comes into the space, right? That's one. But on the contrary, we also have a lot of Pi that is still locked, and when those unlocks happen, that is going to be a price impact, so it's going to put pressure on the price of pie, right? So that might also affect the price in the intermediate, run, maybe cause the pie token to dump a bit, but the utilities coming out of this ecosystem is superb, and I feel that pie would hold its ground, and the adoption will continue because it has over delivered, and they've taken enough time to work on this project, right? And sometimes slow and steady wins the race.
It does.
And that's what I see with pie. Yeah, I think I can say I'm a bit bullish.
Bullish.
I'm a bit bullish, just because there are so many tokens, yet to be unlocked. And I don't know what these guys are going to do with their tokens when it gets unlocked. So for the price of pie to hold, we are going to need the pioneers whose token will get unlocked to hold. If we don't hold, price will crash. That's the truth, right? And no one can change anything about that, including Pie Core team, right? So yeah, that's that about the price forecast.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. That was an awesome session. Well, you guys heard it straight from Emmanuel Peter himself. We are looking somehow bullish, right? But for this to hold, pioneers have to avoid a massive sell-off because that will have a significant impact on the pie price. I hope this has been as educating for you as it has been for me, because I definitely learned a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in. And from this side of the desk, we'll see you some other time. Peace out.